Honey Bubbles is a elegant balance of acid, fruit, and minerality. It's full body. The bubbles give it this beautifully delicate mousse, and because of the high acid, it cuts the residual sugar at the end of your palate. From working at Shutters on the Beach, I was in this really unique environment where I was around the best of the best in the wine world. We pour Opus One by the glass, we pour bottles that are $400 or $500 a bottle by the glass at Shutters. It's just a type of exposure that everyone in the service industry does not have. And Shutters was very passionate about making sure their servers could articulate what they're selling. So they paid for all of us to take the WSET Level 2, which is the Wine and Spirits Education Trust. It's like Cours de Sommelier, different education standard, equally as respected. I'm Level 2. I'm taking Level 3 right now. I actually have the test next week. And in the class, Master Som Peter Neptune got in the discussion of Moscato. He loved it. He's like, Moscato's growing 1,000% every year. It's the fastest growing segment in the US wine market, totally being driven by millennials and the female demographic. And right after that statement, he's like, yeah? I'm like, well, what if I start a Moscato brand? And he's like, good luck. After the class, I asked Christiana and I asked Lori, I'm like, look, I think we can do this. There's an opportunity here. Let's talk about this. And we're lucky. We raised funding within the first 6 months. Christiana was really amazing with that. She actually brought the first money in, which was amazing. And, when we were researching what was on the market, I bought everything that I could find. And to our benefit, there's a lot of really terrible, god-awful Moscato on the US market. Can you name a trendy Moscato or a luxury brand Moscato? Honey Bubbles. So we're passionate about filling that niche. And when drinking everything I could find in the Moscato world, just the residual sugar was so high. You couldn't get through a glass of wine without getting a headache. I didn't even want to think about what having 4 glasses would do because the hangover would probably take me a week and a half to get over. And so when I started calling farms and vineyards all over the US, the first batch of Honey Bubbles came from New Mexico. And Muscat's a unique grape varietal. It grows exceptional in many different climates. All the way from Washington State down to Temecula, Moscato does very well. And, so New Mexico was perfect. It was super hot during the day, cool at night. That was a great contrast for the grapes. It got hot enough for the sugar in the wine in the grapes to get to a certain level so you could ferment the wine out to the ABV that we wanted. And this producer was willing to work with us to get what we wanted, and they sent samples back and forth. It was like a 3-month process to make sure that we knew exactly what we wanted going into the market. It helped that the 3 of us, Lori, Christiana, and myself, we're all wine educated. We're wine dorks. We love wine, obviously, and we wanted that to translate to what we interpreted as a premier Moscato brand. And the biggest difference with Honey Bubbles versus a majority of the Moscato on the market is we pulled the residual sugar back. It's not as sweet. It's 11% by volume. Most Moscato d'Asti is between 5 and 8%. So the US market, I think they like a higher alcohol content. I think it was good for the wine, because when you pull the residual sugar back, it accentuates properties of the wine that get overshadowed by high RS, and RS meaning residual sugar. Honey Bubbles is a elegant balance of acid, fruit, and minerality. It's full body. The bubbles give it this beautifully delicate mousse, and because of the high acid, it cuts the residual sugar at the end of your palate. My favorite tasting I go into is with a song who's like, oh shit, I hate Moscato. I don't want to do this tasting. I'm doing it because it's a friend, it's a recommendation. I'll get this guy out of here in 10 minutes. So I go in and They try Honey Bubbles and they're like, I've never had Moscato like this ever in my life. And I'm getting this feedback every single day. And I mean, obviously it's my brand. I want it to do well, but this is the feedback I'm getting. Like the Torrey Pines Lodge down in San Diego, we were the first new brand in 7 years that they brought on, and that's a ridiculously nice hotel that is hard to get into. And because of our relationships in food and beverage, we've been able to get in front of decision makers at properties that would be almost impossible for other brands or reps to get into.